Glad to see some smiling faces this morning. Thanks for showing up. First, we're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance by Mr. Corn.
Can you all join me with the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now we're going to have a prayer by Commissioner Daradina.
Thank you. If you'll join me as we go to the Lord. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for this beautiful day. Thank you so much for this great nation, for this great state. Thank you for the rain, Lord. We do appreciate what you are sending us, Lord. Lord, we just ask that you surround our sister, Jessica, as she does such a hard thing tomorrow in saying goodbye to her father one last time. Surround her and her family during this difficult time. Lord, we just thank you so much for the many blessings that you've given all of us. Be with our law enforcement as they protect us. Be with our military as they protect us. Lord, we ask that you protect Israel. Lord, be with the hostages. Let's get them home, Lord. We know it's within your timing and your will. Lord, let us have open hearts and open ears to do what you want us to do today. And to God be the glory. Amen.
Amen. Thank you for that prayer. Ms. Fuller, do we have a determination of a quorum?
Good morning. Yes, sir, you do.
We do. We may proceed. May proceed. Could I get a motion for the approval of the agenda?
I move we approve the agenda.
Second, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion by Commissioner Wade and a second by Commissioner Dana to approval of the agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Good to go. Next on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from the June meeting.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the minutes from the June 26, 2025 meeting.
I second it.
We have a motion made by Commissioner Dana and a second by Commissioner Corn for the approval of the minutes on June 26. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Next agenda is going to be we're going to reverse presentations and proclamations and go to proclamations with.
That's correct. Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, I have a proclamation this morning for Safe and Sound Week in Chaves County. Whereas the majority of workplace injuries and fatalities are preventable, however, more than 5,000 U.S. workers die each year from job-related injuries and millions more suffer occupational injuries and illnesses, and whereas businesses spend $170 billion a year on costs tied up on occupational injuries, illnesses, and health care, as well as facing intangible cost of losing a loved one, friend, or coworker, and whereas the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, the membership of leading safety professional organizations and corporate and association partners who represent thousands of businesses, recognize the importance of safety and health programs in every workplace and encourage organizations to hold safety as a core value, and whereas Chaves County recognizes our employees are our county's most valuable asset, and we are committed to their health and safety, which we believe goes hand in hand with our success as a leader amongst New Mexico counties. And whereas Chaves County values safety and healthy workplaces for all of the employees who serve on the community we live in, and whereas the Chaves County Board of Commissioners recognizes our employees for their roles and actions in providing a safe and productive workplace and thank them for their dedicated service to the citizens of Chaves County, and whereas Safe and Sound Week is a nationally recognized event that celebrates the successes of businesses that have implemented safety and health programs in the workplace. Now therefore, the Board of Commissioners of Chaves County, New Mexico hereby proclaim August 11 to the 17th Safe and Sound Week in Chaves County, encouraging all organizations, community leaders, employers, and employees to support activities designed to increase awareness of the importance of safe workplaces for all. Done this 24th day of July 2025. And is Joseph, yes, Joseph Cobos is our county safety person, and we'd like to present this award to him on behalf of the county. Come up, please. Yeah,
Mr. Cobos, come on up here.
No, you don't have to. Just get a picture. Yeah. Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, along with Safe and Sound Week, Chaves County will be hosting for our employees Safe and Sound Week meeting at Hobson Hall on August the 12th, where our county employees will get their annual safety pins if they didn't have an accident. But along with that, we have some milestone awards that we want to talk about today. So we have people ranging all the way from every 5 years we give a milestone award for people who've been safe throughout their time working at Chaves County. So I want to start off with the 5-year pin, or 5-year people, and if you'll just stand up so we can be acknowledged if you're here. We have 3 people on the 5-year safety, no accident plan, and that's Scott Hendricks from the Sheriff's Department, Nathaniel De La Cerda from the Sheriff's Department, and Isaac Cobos from the Sheriff's Department. And moving on to 10 years without an accident while at work, we have 4 employees, and they are Jerome Parmer from the Sheriff's Department, Gonzalo Bonillo from the Road Department, Lucia Serrano from Finance, and Bill Williams from Administration. 15 years without an accident at work. We have 5 people. We have Adriana Zapata from Finance. We have James Kreider and Letitia Madrid, both from Flood. And we have Raymond Romero from the Road Department. And we have Cassie Hill from the Sheriff's Department. Now, believe it or not, we actually have 5 people that have worked at Chaves County for 20 years and have never had an accident. Those 5 people are, sorry, this list is kind of hard to follow for Jose Rivera, who works in facility maintenance, Benino Carrillo, who works in our IT department, Patrick Farr, who works at flood control, Kenneth Bensinger, who works at the Road Department, Larry Freeland, who works at the Road Department. And that's pretty amazing stuff. But it doesn't end there. This is like late night TV. We have 2 employees who've worked for Chaves County for 25 years and never had even a minor accident. Once you have a minor accident, you have to start over. So we have 2 employees, and those are, I know who they are, but let me find them on the list. Janet Gomez, and she's here to stand up. She's got 25 years with no accidents. And we also have Amparo Shafino from the detention facility, and she's not here. But I think all of those people have done a remarkable job, and ask that we give them a round of applause. And Mr. Chairman, before we go into presentations from our community, I believe that our treasurer would like to come up and make an announcement, if that's acceptable.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and Commission. I just wanted to take a quick second to introduce my new chief, Deputy Treasurer. He started here Tuesday, and he's coming with us with lots of experience. So, and his name is Ernest Alford. Before I forget that.
How's it going? Nice to meet you guys. I'm excited to be with the team. Look forward to the future, and I'm excited to be here.
Cool.
Welcome aboard.
I think you're going to be the tallest employee at the county.
Probably. I had to duck a couple times, but I'm getting used to it.
Nice to see you.
We have a milestone basketball team. We want to talk to you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm
guys.
not on it.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, before we get started with the usual presentations from people within the community, we have the VFW, where are you? There you are. Come on up. Tell us what's going on.
Come on down.
Yes.
Good morning, and thank you for inviting me out here. As you all know, and most of you know, and many of you all seen, we have recently planted some trees over there by the walking trail. I can't remember the name of the park. It's the old Putt-Putt Golf Course. We did that for our 125th anniversary day of service at the Veterans of Foreign Wars. And by the way, my name is Jason Burke. I'm the Veterans of Foreign Wars Department of New Mexico District 7 Commander. But anyway, like I said, we did that for our 125th anniversary day of service. It's something that we did for the community, and of course, we did it with your help. We believe that community service, that is the backbone of our existence. That's why the Veterans of Foreign Wars exist. We no longer wear boots and BDUs and carry rifles. Now we carry shovels and wear regular clothes and tennis shoes, and we're happy to do it. And we believe that partnerships and relationships within the community help us do that a lot, because we can't do it by ourselves. And so I have a certificate of appreciation here for you guys. And I'd like for you guys to accept this not as a token of appreciation for helping us plant the trees, but I would also like for this certificate to bear witness to a growing and continuous relationship with Chaves County.
Thank you. You want to come up and get your picture with the commissioners?
Sure. Do you mind if I read the certificate?
Please read
first?
it. Yeah,
So it's Veterans of Foreign Wars of the United States, 125 years of service. The certificate of appreciation awarded to the Chaves County Commission. Your support of the Veterans of Foreign Wars 125th anniversary, and in turn the veterans, service members, military families, and communities it serves, has justly earned you our utmost respect and gratitude. Signed May 3rd, 2025, Post Commander Mac Dyer.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, as Mr. Burke, thank you. As Mr. Burke goes and sits back down, I want to also make everyone aware, the Chaves County Walking Trail goes around the building. It's been a community outreach project we've been working on for several years. We completed it a few months back. We have a bridge over near the detention pond by the Allsups on Southeast Main. As you guys recall, Grand Street used to go through and cross Main Street, and now there's a cul-de-sac there. We've allowed the VFW to utilize that bridge. They've taken on that area. They're going to keep it clean and mowed, and they planted 8 trees, I believe, 1 for each branch of the service, and the MIA.
1 for each branch, 1 for the Veterans of Foreign Wars, and also 1 for the MIA DOW.
So as you drive by, you can see that row of trees that they'll be taking care of. But we're also working with the city right now. That little piece of street is dead. There are no addresses on that street. It sits in front of the old Putt-Putt Golf Course, and there's a cul-de-sac outside of the Allsups parking lot. We're working with the city to rename that Veterans Circle. Our local VFW would like to have events and stuff for people on the south end of town. That just works really well for them to be able to pull in their grill and cook for the people, or have whatever events they have. Plus, it's an area that they're have adopted and are taking care of. So just want to thank them for for that and let everyone know that we're working with the city. We're not there yet, but we think we're going to be able to call that the Veterans Circle. And thank you for what you've done for our country.
Good to go, presentations.
Yes.
And next, we're going to have presentations from the audience, our usual presentations. If you could, because there's a lot of people here, say who you are and who you represent. Who's number one?
Got Tamara and got Mike.
Yeah, Tamara.
I was trying to hide y'all.
Can't hide.
I mean, when I called you number one, you're number one.
Oh, I may want to rethink that. I'll take that. Tamara Schubert with Cooperative Extension. So many of y'all know that this is our busiest week. So if you haven't made it out, come out and visit the kiddos at the fair. I made half of our leadership team come with me today. They're following up on the importance of government and stuff from the Roundhouse visit in February. And I left the other half in the steer show this morning. Our sale is tomorrow evening, starting at 7 o'clock, I believe. So we invite everybody in the community to come out and visit us. But this really is the biggest week of the year for the kids, as they get to display their hard work and things like that. Everything else takes a back burner right now as we handle fair season going into September and October with our Eastern Fair. The one other announcements that we have that you'll see is posting, as many of you all know, Drew has accepted another position. So our ag position within the office is now open and will close next month. And I will stand for any questions.
Commissioners, any questions? Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you, guys.
Mr. Espiritu? Or as we say, Mike.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Always a great day in Chaves County. Love the rain, but I am fearful for our friends in Ruidoso. Just a few updates. Mike Espiritu, President CEO of the Roswell-Chaves County Economic Development Corporation. Just an update on the National Championship bear races. I think some of you, as Commissioner Dana mentioned to me this morning, echoed back some of the same thoughts, and that is ticket sales are good. About a month ago, and I'm trying to get the updated numbers, but about a month ago, the ticket sales were over 60,000. So that's a lot of people in Roswell, Chaves County. We held a vendor meeting for food and beverage folks in Chaves County a couple weeks ago, and the reason for that event was to, one, make them aware of the impact that they're going to feel. Two, be ready to be able to serve a lot of people, and more importantly, if they want to vend during the event, the process to do that. So that's still ongoing. We are working through some alcohol sales things and so on, but it's come together fairly well, not without its hiccups, obviously. Big event for this area of the world. We do anticipate that although you may have heard the sport class will not be flying this first race, the races are still happening. This event is still happening. So so as we continue to work towards some of the safety areas that were concerned to that class, which we thought we would have rectified by the September race, we do anticipate them to be here at next year's event. We're also working towards contacting all our restaurants, our grocery stores, our convenience stores, anyone that handles and operates, provides food products. Frankly, Mr. Chairman, I think that when the number of RVers that are coming to Roswell on this event, the first thing they do when they unload is they go to the grocery store. And the second thing that concerns me is if our food vendors and restaurants don't have sufficient product to support the huge volume of people that's going to be visiting, that they may hit our grocery stores and go get a lot of food. So we're really talking to the vendors, distributors, and so forth, but also making people aware. The impact's going to be huge, right? We anticipate that. With over 60,000, I think we're estimating between 60 and 80,000 people, that when the races end every day about 4:30, we're going to see them in downtown Roswell And they're going to be just doing what? They're going to go shopping, they're going to go hit Main Street, they're going to go eat somewhere. And I encourage businesses to make sure they're open. So we are working towards reminding our business community to keep their doors open, because no one likes coming to a business and they want to go in and the doors are locked because they're closed for the day. So we do anticipate a lot of things happening at the end of the day. And we do have some folks that are working towards some entertainment venues in the evening. So a lot of things will be happening. It's going to be a little bit bigger than the UFO Festival. What do you think? I want to move on to a couple of things that happened this past month. I attended the Site Selectors Guild Summer Conference, and actually it was in Santa Fe, which is unheard of. And what that is a site selection event where economic development professionals like myself attend and visit with those companies that are making location decisions for new projects. And I spoke with one of them that I've known for a number of years. We are working a project currently that involves renewable energy, and I know that County Manager Williams is fully aware of that. And we're working towards that company, the site selection company, to help make this happen. So I'll tell you more about that as we get closer to the finish line. We're not quite there yet, but it could be a number of jobs for Travis County. We are doing our annual Livability Magazine. You've seen it when you, hopefully, if you attend in our gala here next week, you'll see a copy of this current edition. I anticipate our next edition for 26 will be even better, because obviously the air races will have happened and a lot of good things have been going on throughout our county. We have a project that we pretty much have landed. We have some little hiccups with some city land, but it's a company that's involved with heavy equipment, construction equipment, things of that nature. This is an expansion. They have nearly 300 locations across the country, and they pay fairly good salaries, about $72,000 average wage, $72,000 annual wage salaries, 20 to 40 to 60 jobs. So 20 to start, probably more after that. So we're pretty anxious about that happening. I want to make you aware of something that's been troubling me and the EDC and the medical community for quite some time. And I need to make you fully aware of this to what I can anyway, because this impacts every single person in our county and our state, for that matter. So let me kind of explain to that. I did brief this at the city council a few weeks ago in the last council meeting, but the issue has to do with maintaining doctors, retaining doctors in New Mexico. I know you're aware of the medical malpractice and where that's been for a number of years, but I attended the State Hospital Association annual meeting recently, last month. And at that meeting, I learned, and I'm going to give you some information, that in comparison to 2019 to 2024, which is just last year, obviously, that there was a large amount of physicians recruited into states, but not in New Mexico. In fact, New Mexico, if you look at from Texas, Oklahoma, Nevada, California, Arizona, Colorado, every state saw an increase in physicians except for us. We're the only state with a decrease of over 8% in comparison to where we were in 2019. We're the only state that saw a decrease. It's very concerning. I know the Hospital Association, they have, their groups. I know Think New Mexico has been very involved with this. I'm not sure what the county would like to pursue in that regard. We're limited, right? Because there's a lot of legislation that has to happen at the state level to fix this problem. But for us at the Economic Development Corporation, if we don't have great medical care for the people that already live here, it's even tougher for the companies I try to recruit. And I think we all deserve, each one of us deserves great medical care and opportunities. I heard just yesterday that, and I think you know this, a lot of folks go to Lubbock for medical care, or, well, Lubbock or Albuquerque or wherever, but especially Lubbock. I understand that now some places in Lubbock are asking us people that are receiving medical care from outside the state of Texas is asked to sign a waiver. And I'm getting more information on that, but my concern is this. If we have to go outside of our state because of these issues with law, legislation, if we're asked by other local surrounding states to sign a waiver before we receive health care, that's another concern, right? I think we're very fortunate that Eastern New Mexico Medical Center has really stepped up their game. They just hired a new orthopedic surgeon, and I know that they have a brand new piece of equipment called the Da Vinci. It's a robotic surgery piece of equipment, over $3 million investment right here in Roswell. That equipment is important because physicians who were in school just a couple of years ago, they were trained on that piece of equipment. And to recruit new docs, which Eastern has, they are recruiting docs that have had that experience, and they're able to blend in very well into that mix. If you haven't heard, Lovelace also had a new 3D mammography piece of equipment to support the residents here in Chaves County. And I will tell you that as our hospitals work towards bringing up the equipment needed to help our people, we still need the docs to be able to do that work. So I'll let you discuss that in your own setting. I'm not sure what to go with that at this point, but we do have the State Hospital Association actively working towards finding some resolution, but it's going to take a lot of work. The last thing I'll leave you with, because I'm talking a little bit too long, is about our gala next week. It's the 30th. It should be a great event celebrating Chaves County business people. 3 major awards, large business, small business, and community service award. And we'll also have the best of 30 different types of businesses at the event. We will not have a keynote speaker this year because we really want to highlight all these businesses and what they've been doing for our area. And those top 30 or best of Chaves County were all voted on by people in Chaves County. Not by Mike, but Chaves County. With that said, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, I stand for your questions.
I have a couple of questions. One was, did you say earlier in your presentation that there was 60,000 tickets sold for
That's
Roswell?
correct.
Do we know how many of those would you have a way of knowing how many of those are like residents of Roswell? So how many were going to increase in the town?
So, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Great question. So let me give you a little more context on that 60,000 number. Every state in the country has bought tickets except for 3. And that was in the Northeast, which is Maryland, Maine, and New Hampshire. That was a month ago. They might have bought tickets. We could have shamed buying tickets. Now, as far as New Mexico, we're seeing a lot more ticket sales. I don't have a number breakdown, but when you look at the heat map of ticket sales, predominantly you're seeing a lot of California still, because a lot of loyal fans. A lot more folks out of New Mexico, but also out of Texas. But if you look at where the ticket sales are really the heaviest, it's everywhere, except for California, really big in Southern California. Right now, Oshkosh in Wisconsin is going on. It's the country's largest air event, and they draw in a lot more people than this does. But I think that those folks there, because we have rah-rah folks there promoting, including the chairman of the board, Fred Telling, and others. And I think that we're going to continue to see more people involved, especially, I think, in our state because it's right here.
The other question I had, I appreciate you talking to restaurants and vendors to make sure they're prepared, right? So have we visited with the hospitals? Are they prepared for any issues?
We have. In fact, I can't speak for Lovelace. I'm on the board for Eastern, so I have a little more information on Eastern. But I'll share this with you, that they're doing emergency tabletop exercises, both of them. They're doing drills, getting ready for the event. As a reminder, one of the reasons that we were selected as this new home for the air bases is because of our emergency services. We're the safest place in the country they could fly. Of the 38 cities that were courting them, we were the best in EMS services. You know, early on, we met with all the volunteer fire departments right here in the county, every one of them. We met with all the EMS folks. We met with all the PD and Sheriff's Department, and I think because of that, we're ready. To answer your question, are the hospitals ready? Absolutely. At the event, they're going to have it's a cute name. They call it a Band-Aid tent because they're not going to be able to do surgery out there. But they're going to be able to provide services out there, and there's going to be staffed by folks from both hospitals. In fact, we will have a doctor on site at the event at no cost to anyone, and that's what the hospitals are doing. So I think they've really stepped up providing those type of services to the people that will be in attendance. We're really concerned about heat, related events. So you know how we can get here, we can get pretty hot. I think in the forecast, September, the week of, September and October, I think they anticipate even hotter or just as hot as unlike other years. So we anticipate there'll be more heat-related stuff. But I think we're fine. I think we're in good shape. The students at the school at the University of New Mexico, the nursing students, they're also helping staff the tents too. So a lot of folks involved with that. The Burrell students from the Burrell College, the doctors that are here, some of those will also be involved out there in supporting that need.
Commissioners, any other questions? Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
That'll conclude our presentations. At this time, we'll start our agenda items with number 1.
Chairman, Commissioners, this is a public hearing item. Our first item on the agenda is case Z 2025-03. It is a zone change request from Zone B, agricultural residential, to Zone C, Type 2, sorry, I do have Type 1 in other places, commercial general. The applicant wishes to rezone a small parcel of land located at the intersection of Crossroads and Old Dexter Highway from ag residential to commercial. This parcel contains an abandoned Crossroads store, along with the residential home and accessory structures. The property owner converted the old store into a small restaurant, and of course, restaurants are not permitted in the ag residential area and therefore require a zone change to commercial. If approved, the home would be considered an accessory use to the commercial restaurant, along with the other structures. The P&Z Commission recommended approval of the case Z 2025-03, the zone change from Zone B to Zone C Type 2, by a vote of 4-0 based on findings of facts 1 through 4 based on staff's report. Staff's report was handed out to you this morning. It was brought to my attention that was missing in the agenda, so I did place it with the clerk, with our attorney, along with our county manager and Commissioner Chairman on your desks as well. So the applicant is here to speak.
Those in favor that would like to speak?
Good morning, I'm Richard McKay. I'm one of the owners of Crossroads Express. We're just in the community trying to help them have something there to eat in between Roswell and Artesia. I wasn't planning on doing this, but that's where we ended up going with this building, and like to try to keep the tradition going because a lot of people know it from when they were kids. And I appreciate the help on that.
Thank you. Any questions, Commissioners?
Mr. Chairman, I just would like to say thank you very much for doing this. My husband and I, we moved out there 35 years ago. It was Crossroads.
Yes, ma'am.
Grocery. They actually had a gas station, which was good at the time, because when I moved out there, I was like, I thought my husband had moved me somewhere where I had never been before. And there wasn't anything out there.
Yes, ma'am.
So your place was the place. When the couple that had moved out of there, I had campaigned there and met with them and talked to
that's
them
nice.
on the campaign trail. Very nice couple.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about them.
And when it was abandoned, when it was empty, it broke my heart, because here we go. We see another place, another part of Chaves County history and Midway history and Dexter history. And so when I popped in there, I was so excited, because I was like, here you go. And you guys told me about the history.
ma'am.
The feed in the back and everything.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
the vision that you have, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
When you go through planning and zoning, and I know a lot of people say, gosh, you guys, you've got this and that. We're trying to make you better, is what
Yes,
we're
ma'am.
trying to do, and we're trying to make your neighbors know that we are welcoming you, but
Thank you.
we want to make you good stewards of your neighbors too and everything. So we appreciate everything that you're doing.
And I appreciate
And-
all the help and support y'all are giving me.
Good.
I'm a mechanic by trade, been all my life working on heavy equipment. Only thing I knew to do was eat the food.
Yes.
And then,
Yeah.
well, my wife made good food, so I gained quite a bit of weight, so. But yeah, I'm learning, and I appreciate all the support and advice that y'all give me to help me move forward with this for the community. And anything else I can do, I'll do my best to do it.
Well, good. Well, we appreciate it. And their cheeseburgers and french fries are phenomenal, and your breakfast burritos, so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it.
Any other questions, Commissioner, for this witness? Thank you for your presentation. Is there anybody else in the audience that's in favor of this? You can sit down.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Yes, sir. My name is Michael Briscoe, 3891 East Hobson Road. I would like to stand up for this. This has been a big morale booster in my community, and they have been there for us. And yes, when Dave shut that place down, it broke our heart, but it's coming back to life. And this is just the talk of our community. And they serve our community really well with great prices and great food. And I'd really like to stand up for this, okay? Thank you.
Is there anybody else that would like to speak in favor of this? Is there anyone in the audience that wants to speak in opposition? Nobody in opposition? Internet stuff? Good to go? At this time, I would like to have a motion if I can get one.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to move for case number Z 2025-03, zone change from Zone B, agriculture residential, to Zone C, Type 2, commercial general.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to second that motion.
We have a motion by Commissioner Dana and a second by Commissioner Wade.
Mr. Chairman, we need to assure that that includes the conditions and finding of fact in the motion.
Yes.
And the second as well.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes.
We're good with that? We're good with that. All in favor of passing this motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Chairman, Commissioners, agenda item number 2, public hearing item, case Z 2006-10, was to include shredding and recycling of wind turbine blades in the specific use, in Zone D Industrial District. It was to consider an amendment to the certificate of zoning specific use for case Z 2006-10, which was to include shredding, recycling of wind turbine blades again. Staff received on Tuesday an email from Dorothy Helms, which stated she wished to withdraw her request and this case from the agenda item, or from consideration, I'm sorry. Commissioners, Chairman, if you wish to accept that, that is staff's recommendation.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, if I could, I'll read Ms. Hellam's statement. She just sent a memo. Lewis, it is not our desire to change the use on any properties described in case Z 2006-10. Therefore, there's no need for County Commission to consider this case. Thank you for your immediate attention to this matter. Sincerely, Dorothy Helms. I also have here a letter opposing this case from Mr. Fugate. And just for the record, if it's acceptable to you, I'd like to know who's here in favor. We won't actually hear the case, but who's here in favor, who's here against, so we can put it in the record, and then a statement of some sort that says that this was not approved by the County Commission. Case Z 2006-10 was not approved.
So in the spirit of Lewis's presentation, it is fair to say that the County Commission has never, this was never approved, this function by this commission. And it has been pulled at this point. But because you are here and it is a public venue and it is a public comment hearing, could everybody, by a show of hands that is here, opposed to this case Z 2002-006-10? Everybody opposed to this, could you raise your hand, please?
Get a count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 15. I count 17, I believe.
17 opposed. Anybody in favor of case Z 2006-10, could you please raise your hand?
And there are no hands up.
Thank you for that participation in that. It seems like there is nothing else we need to do but go on to the next item. Is that correct?
Yes. Mr. Chairman, would, Lewis, you verbally talked to Mrs. Helms as well as the email to confirm, correct? That she's withdrawing?
Chairman and Commissioners, yes, I did speak with her before she left the state. She is now out of town dealing with other issues, so.
And so this negates anything done before the Chaves County Planning and Zoning Commission as well?
Yes, it will terminate all recommendations that the P&Z Commission made.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Chairman, I do have a question. The original was to store these wind turbine. Is that still?
Chairman and Commissioners, I did grant that additional use to their already outside storage of equipment and construction material to include just the wind turbine large sections that they have currently on there. They are the larger pieces. As you know, a wind blade is about 180 feet long. When they're done with them, they cut them up into 3 pieces and then, or 4 pieces, forgive me, and then they send them off to be recycled or buried in some cases.
So they would still be able to do this on this property?
Correct, but we will limit the amount that they will be permitted to store, and also we will work on a screen fencing along US 70 so that we don't have that specific item, that look as you're coming into town, knowing that we are going to be having the air races pretty soon and other events in the city and in the county.
So all this does is
This
they pull
prevents the
for
shredding and
of it,
recycling.
but they
Chairman,
can still
Commissioners,
store. Okay.
They have, Chairman, Commissioners, they've removed the shredding machine completely. They did soon after the P&Z Commission. The P&Z Commission and a lot of the attendees that were here and raised their hands also attended that meeting. The P&Z Commission did a very good job of dealing with the situation and scolding them for their behaviors when not following certain stop work orders that staff sent out. And so they left. We gave them 2 weeks to remove all of their shredded material, and they just have a small pile left, which they're still trying to remove. But the shredder won't be back, and staff will make sure of that.
So, Lewis, do we have is there an end date on paper when they're supposed to be off of the property, or when this project is supposed to be terminated? Is there a finality date involved?
Staff will address that and get that to them. Yes, we will give them 2 weeks from today, if so chose. Yes.
2 weeks from today?
Yes.
So they're still going to be able to store there, right?
The larger pieces.
And cut them up as well into sections, or just storage?
Chairman, Commissioners, no. They come in as 3 or 4 pieces already that just are stored there to be taken to another facility to do the recycling shredding elsewhere. I believe they'll stop that as well because we are not in the path of that. Now the recycling process isn't happening in Oklahoma. It was occurring in Texas, but Texas passed a recent recycling regulation. So now it's gone on to Oklahoma, which takes us out of the direct path of where these units are coming from and where they're going.
So for, what is the period of time that they're going to be stored there? I mean, are they just going to hang around for years? Or are we just, I mean, are they going to be collecting them and making a whole pile of them? Or I don't understand.
Chairman and Commissioners, we will limit the time on the amount of the time length of the storage to your preferred time frame, if you'd like, that we can discuss later as just an amendment to the permitted change.
Okay.
And storage. Yeah.
So, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, so that was just a temporary ability to store them there, which you'll continue to
correct
work on as it evolves, but there's no shredding of
yes
windmill blades.
Chairman, Commissioners, there's no more shredding.
I believe it's the intent of Commissioner Corn not to have a wind turbine blade monument there.
Yes.
There's plenty in Bond. Klein's Corner.
If they're going to do that, they need to go 200 miles away behind a hill.
Chairman, Commissioners, thank you.
Thank you. If anybody else has any questions or comments, please get with Lewis at a different time because it's pretty much good to go here. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, I've got a few agenda items next. Before I start, I'd like to say it's always a pleasure to see so many people from the public attend the meeting and let their voices be heard. As you all know, that's what you guys thrive on, and I want to thank them all for showing up today, especially at 9 in the morning. But appreciate that. Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, agenda item number 3 is agreement number A 25022 for La Casa lease at 1511 South Grand. Staff recommends approval of agreement A 25022, and I've got the exhibit in your packet there.
So Emma's going to.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, Emma was unable to make it today, so I will be a poor substitute for Emma
That's
on
very
the next
sad.
8 items.
So can I get a second on a poor substitute?
Mr. Chairman, I just have a couple of questions, and Bill or someone from Facilities Maintenance. We're going over a lot of leases here today that are county properties, is this correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Are we making sure, or Facilities Maintenance making sure, because a part of my understanding of these leases is they have to maintain the building or the property, is that correct?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, that's kind of a two-sided answer, and Commissioner Corn and I were discussing this just a little earlier. We have kind of two groups of buildings. So a lot of buildings on paper belong to Chaves County. I mean, because someone went to the legislature, was able to garner funds to build a building, for instance, to Bosa and the newest building that they have over there. We had nothing to do with that. However, they cannot receive funds directly from the state. And so they have to have a fiscal agent. In a situation like that, they ask someone to be their fiscal agent. In this case, it was Chaves County. So we never really owned that building. They built it. We made sure that it was built correctly and all. It shows that it belongs to Chaves County, but we have absolutely no maintenance requirement on that building, because if the air conditioning fails, if the roof fails, that's not the obligation of the Chaves County Board of Directors. However, we do monitor those. We do assure that they have insurance. We do assure that they get that maintenance done, because it does create a liability for the county. We have another group of buildings, such as the St. Mary's Complex over here, that the county bought outright some years ago when they were remodeling the courthouse. They moved the judges over here. They had offices over there. They had the courts here in Area D. Those buildings actually belong to Chaves County, and on those leases, we do not expect the leasee, for instance, Dr. Winter, if the air conditioning goes out on that building, we do not expect him to replace a $10,000, $20,000 air conditioner, but we do expect them to do the day-to-day maintenance, minor painting, clean the windows, make sure that they alert us if the roof is leaking, things of that nature. So I know that's a really long answer, but yes, there is a maintenance requirement depending on which building it is. So an entity, a 501c3 that we're holding their stuff, it is their requirement to keep that building up to snuff. And we do everything that we can to try to assist them in that, but the ultimate responsibility for the big repair, well, for all the repairs on those buildings is theirs. But we do oversee that, and we do have the authority, because the liability is on us to assure that those things are done. And we've had some issues in the past with various entities, and we've had to work pretty hard to assure that those things are done. Most people do what they're required to do, and we appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions or comments from commissioners at this time? Any other questions or comments?
So, yeah, for the motion for 822. Yeah. Yeah, that's the one. So we need a motion on that.
At this time, we need a motion on this agenda item 3.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve agreement A25-022 La Casa lease for 1500 South Grand.
Second, Mr. Chairman.
I have a motion made by Commissioner Wade and a second by Commissioner Darrow. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same size. Motion carries.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, agenda item number 4 is agreement A25023 between Diane Taylor and Chaves County for the lease of 1600 Southeast Main, Suite D2, Office 2. Staff recommends approval of this lease.
So I'm assuming you're a presenter again, huh?
That's correct. Still a sorry substitute.
Like how I'm catching on there, you thought I might have problems?
Man, you're slick. You're on it.
Commissioners, are there any comments or questions from stand-in Emma?
The language is the same on this, where it says that the tenant is responsible for the roof in the language of the contract. And it kind of, lessee will be responsible for outside the building roof, glass, lawn, cooling, and heating systems.
We can verify that before the chairman
Right, but
signs it.
I just,
Yeah, it's possible. We use a boilerplate essentially.
Right,
So
right. No,
so we
I'm aware
redo
of
these, and there are 2 separate paragraphs that go there to collect the right verbiage for depending on which building it is. It's possible we overlook, but we will verify all of these. Let's see, I believe there are 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Yes.
seven agreements. Yeah.
I
And
understand the intent.
Yeah,
Yes.
the intent is there, and we'll do a cursory check. Our attorney is here, and we'll make him, or ask him to review those items and make sure that they're all correct before the signature is done.
I move we approve agreement A25023 for lease to Diane Taylor for 1600 Southeast Main, D2, Office 2.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Wade and a second by Commissioner Corn. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Agenda item number 5. This agreement is between Chaves County and the Senior Olympics for the lease of the building located at 1600 Southeast Main, Suite C, and it'll be the same scenario that they are responsible for the day-to-day maintenance, but the large items would be the responsibility of Chaves County. We'll verify that.
I did have one question on this.
Yes.
And it's Mike Briscoe didn't want to ask this, but he's going to retire soon, and he was wanting to know what the age is to qualify for the Senior Olympics.
I forgot.
You forgot?
I think I'm old enough.
Are you qualified?
I believe it. Do you know what the age is, Stan? I don't know why I'm turning to you as if you would know, but I think that it's 50. But Stan is
50.
is
Is there a golfing, is there a medal for golfing on this?
I believe that there is. Like golfing,
Briscoe, you're in.
poetry, all kinds of cool stuff.
That's
over there.
right. Learning all kinds of cool stuff. Commissioners, are there any questions on agenda item 5?
Oh, my gosh.
At this time, we'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move we accept Agreement A-25-024 for Senior Olympics, lease 1600 Southeast Main Suite C.
I'll second the motion.
A motion made by Commissioner Dana and seconded by Commissioner Wade. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same side. Motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Agenda item number 6 is an agreement between Chaves County and the Roswell Refuge for lease of a building located at 1306 West College. Staff recommends approval, and I'd like to make some statements on that once you allow me to, please.
We'll only accept it if you do it in an Emma voice.
I don't think that's possible. She's totally different level than I am. Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, I'd like to point out a couple things here real quick. The question was asked earlier about maintenance on buildings. This particular building at 1306 West College has been in need of some repairs for quite a few years. It got to the point where we were really concerned about the safety of the people that were utilizing that building. Even though it's a 501c3, even though we didn't initially purchase it or anything, it got to the point where we were concerned about the safety of the public. And so we worked with their staff, and we've worked very diligently to try to obtain legislative capital outlay on their behalf for that building. Has to come to the fiscal agent, and we, being the fiscal agent, worked very diligently with them to try to assure that we got some money set aside. And I'm happy to report that Alex and his team has managed to assure that many of the discrepancies or the deficiencies in that building have been resolved. We're continuing to work with them to make sure that it's done. But you'll also see at the end of some of these leases that we have, if an entity is providing a service to the community, we have a fair market rent, and we have to do that through New Mexico. We have to ascertain what the fair rental value of a certain building would be in a certain neighborhood for a certain use. This particular building, based on estimates and appraisals, it could rent for as much as $3,443 a month, or 43 cents a square foot. It's 7,652 square feet. However, the fair market lease of that building would be $41,316 a year. But we determine what is provided to the community and assign a dollar amount to that to offset the cost. So based on that, Refuge provides services at this location in excess of the amount of $50,000 a year, and that's based on 20 individuals a night on average. At $175 a night equals $3,500. And $3,500 times 12 months is $42,000 just for the overnight stays that they have there throughout a typical year. And then they have an additional $8,000 in miscellaneous costs, food, clothes, et cetera, that they provide to the people that are utilizing their services, bringing that to $50,000 of services they provide to the community each year. And we cannot, because of the anti-donation clause, give private individuals or entities money. That's illegal for us to do. However, if they're providing a service, we can, in a way, compensate them for the service by offsetting the cost. And so there are some of these leases where we we do exactly that. These entities do so much for our community. It doesn't require us to pay for staff or overhead or any of those things that we would normally do to provide those services to the community. So when we have an entity that can provide something to the community, we have ways to offset those costs and still be within the law while doing it. So that was a whole lot of stuff to say. I ask that you would approve agreement number A25025. Thank you.
Commissioners, do you have any comments or questions? At this time, I'd like to have a motion on agenda item 6.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept agreement A-25-025, the Roswell Refuge at 1306 West College.
Second.
I have a motion made by Commissioner Dana and a second by Commissioner Corn. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. The motion carries.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner asks for your patience for 3 more. Agenda item number 7 is an agreement between Chaves County and Tobosa for the lease of a building located at 110 East Summit Street. Staff recommends approval of agreement A25026.
At this time, it'd be appropriate for questions or comments from commissioners. No comments or questions. At this time, we'll entertain a motion on agenda item 7.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept agreement A-25-026 Tobosa lease at 110 East Summit Street.
I'll second the motion.
Got a motion made by Commissioner Dana and a second by Commissioner Wade. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. The agenda item 7 carries.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, agenda item number 8 is also a lease between Chaves County and Tobosa for the building located at 1121 South Hahn Avenue. Staff recommends approval.
At this time, we'll entertain any comments from or questions from commissioners.
And a correction, it's 1021 South Hahn, not 11.
Any questions on the correction? If the commissioners are good with it, we'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept agreement A-25-027 Tobosa lease at 1021 South Hahn Avenue.
I'll second the motion.
I have a motion by Commissioner Dara and a second by Commissioner Wade. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign.
Thank
The
you.
motion carries on agenda item 8.
Thank you. And just a quick footnote, we don't extrapolate every single penny that these entities put into our community, but for the purpose of evaluating these leases, Tobosa provides over $3 million worth of services to our community each year that does not cost. The Chaves County Board of Commissioners don't have to fund that. So that's why we offset some of these leases in this manner. Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, agenda item number 9 is for agreement A-25028 between the Roswell Refuge and Chaves County for the lease of the building at 1215 North Garden Avenue. Staff recommends approval.
At this time, would be appropriate for questions or comments from commissioners.
Mr. Chairman, I do have a question. Are they in that whole middle building right there, or just the front offices?
Commissioner Dana, they do utilize the whole building. They have the front offices. At one point, they were doing like a secondhand store
Right.
out of the north end where the roll-up door is. I'm not certain how they're utilizing it now, but it is for the entire building.
Okay. Yeah, I've donated some items way back in the day, but I didn't know if they still did that. Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioners, any other comments or concerns? At this time, we'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept Agreement A-25-028, the Roswell Refuge at 1215 North Garden.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Dana and a second by Commissioner Corn. At this time, we signify a favorable vote by saying aye.
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 Aye. Opposed, same sign. The motion carries. Agenda item 9.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners.
Morning, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. Now, for fiscal year 2025, as it ended on June 30th, I'm glad to say that we did end with a positive variance in actuals. We did have a major federal grant that we expended in fiscal year 2025, which is our Local Assistance Tribal Consistency Fund grant. And we have continued on without recruiting any new debt or having increased taxes on behalf of the county. I wanted to quickly highlight with the closing of fiscal year 2025 that we had 5 major projects that we completed. And with that, I wanted to quickly give a big thanks to Alex Palomino that is ensuring that all these projects are going through smoothly. Adriana Zapata, our project specialist, ensuring as well that all the grants are paying for this and communicating with finance on any other funding needs. And of course, Ana Nieto, that makes sure that all of these projects are in compliance. So I really want to say a big thanks to them as well as Bill for being our leader in all of this. But nonetheless, we still have 5 more major projects that we're currently in the process right now as we close fiscal year 2025. We have other emergency projects that are coming up and other new projects that we will be looking at. As we close fiscal year 2025, agenda item 10 will capture the last budget changes to close out the books. We are requesting a budget adjustment for line items in Exhibit A on agenda item 10. These adjustments will reflect the receipt of an EMS grant for the Sierra Fire Department, a law enforcement retention fund grant for the sheriffs, and the reclassification of personal expenses from the road fund to the environmental tax fund for a full-time employee. We are requesting approval of Resolution R-25-031.
This time, Commissioners, do you have any questions for the real presenter?
No questions. She's handled everything so extraordinarily, her and her staff.
Thank you.
It's been wonderful working with you through the budget process, and everything is clear.
Thank you.
Well documented.
Thank you, Commissioner. At this time, I'd like to entertain or receive a motion.
I move we approve Resolution R-25-031 for the budget adjustment fiscal year 2025.
Second.
We have a motion made by Commissioner Wade and a second by Commissioner Corn. All in favor in agenda item 10 signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. Agreement resolution, motion, item number 10 carries.
Thank you. Now, Commissioners, as you recall, we held a budget hearing workshop on May 8th. We had our departments talk about their budget as well as hearing from our local agencies talk about what services they will be providing to our community. This helped compose fiscal year 2026 budget. On May 15th, we had the interim budget presented and approved, and so that way we can keep operating as of July 1st for this fiscal year. We had this until we were able to close the books and get final cash balances as well as final contract payable balances. Upon June 30th's closing to this final budget that we're presenting today, we only have a limited amount of changes for fiscal year 2026's budget. They are an official cap and co-op and school bus and MDOT contract that will actually be presented soon, a Pine Lodge emergency project, a Lincoln Road emergency project, a truck for the road department that was delivered after July, insurance replacements, equipment for flood, which is a dozer, a loader, as well as they are ordering a boom mower for one of their equipments. A reversion for 2 grants, which is a TPF, which is a road grant that was for Brasher Bridge. As you know, that was one major project that was completed. We're reverting the rest of the money that was not used. The LERF for the sheriffs, there will be some money reverted as well.
reduction of correction fees for our court compliance office that will be offset with an increase from the general fund, insurance consulting services, professional service dues for finance software, and a change in federal projects for the road and flood department, which is the ones that we're doing cooperation with FEMA. Overall, we're looking at an increase to our general operating budget of about $967,000. But overall, we will actually have a decrease in our all funds that include the grants, like I mentioned, the FEMA fund. We will be looking at a decrease in that, and I'll go over those numbers in a little bit. I just kind of wanted to talk about the FEMA projects. As you know, we're undergoing some of those, trying to plan better. We're doing some of these projects in-house, especially in the flood department. Originally, the estimates were done if we were to contract out, but to be able to quickly do some of these spreader projects, we're going to be looking at doing this in-house. And so there was a change in that plan for fiscal year 2026. Now, behind the resolution, I just wanted to quickly point out, I had several schedules behind the resolution before it dived into the budget report. The first schedule shows the all funds budget summary. Now, this schedule was exported from the summary schedule directly from our system. This includes everything: our volunteer fire departments, all the grants we hold, any federal funds such as FEMA that I talked about. Now, fiscal year 2026's column at the very bottom is showing the overall budget that will be approved. And this is $81,936,661. Now, the next schedule after that, this holds only the general operating budget overview. This holds all the funds that our elected officials have their operating expenses in, our detention costs for both operating and our inmate expenses, and road, for example. And so with this, I present to you agenda item number 11, which is resolution R-25-033. This final budget is being presented and has been amended for final changes that I just spoke about, along with unaudited beginning cash balances. Attached for your approval is a final budget recap for fiscal year 25-26. And behind those schedules, like I mentioned, there is a summary type of book. But if you want to see the full book in detail, on my staff summary, I have a link that's in blue. You can click it, and it'll take you to about a 196-page book that goes in detail by department. And so with this, staff recommends approval of resolution R-25-033 for fiscal year 26's final budget in the amount of $81,936,661.
Commissioners, do you have any questions for Ms. Annabelle? If there are no questions, we'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve Resolution R-25-033, approval of the final budget for fiscal year 2025-2026 in the amount of $81,936,661.
I second it.
We have a motion made by Commissioner Wade and a second by Commissioner Korn on agenda item 11. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign.
Thank
Agenda
you.
item 11 carries on the motion.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and County Commissioners. Agenda item number 12 is Resolution R-25-034, which is the fiscal year 25 fixed asset inventory. This resolution is to approve the Chaves County fixed inventory as of June 30th, 2025. The new listing linked below has all the active list assets. Staff recommends approval.
Commissioners, does anybody have any questions for Ms. Serrano? If there are no questions, we'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept Resolution R-25-034, the FY25 fixed asset inventory.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Dana and a second by Commissioner Korn on agenda item 12. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and Commission. Agenda item number 13 is Resolution R-25-035, approval of the 2025 final quarter. This is through June 30th, 2025. These final cash balances are the beginning cash balances for the 2025-2026 budget, and staff recommends approval.
Commissioners, does anybody have any questions for Ms. Ray? If there are no questions, we'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept Resolution R-25-035, approval of 2025 final quarter financial report.
So I'll second that.
We have a motion made by Commissioner Dana and a second by Commissioner Wade on agenda item 13. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Agenda item 13 and the motion carries.
Thank you.
Chairman, Commissioners, thank you. Agenda item number 14 brings forth Resolution R-25-036, as well as Agreement A-25-030. It's accepting the 25-26 NMDOT LGRF County Arterial Program Fund. This local government road fund offer from the New Mexico Department of Transportation is for a single penetration chip seal on approximately 20.81 miles of county roads. The work will be cost shared as follows, and it's 75% DOT, 25% county. The NMDOT's portion is $273,495. Chaves County's is $91,165 for a grand total project cost of $364,660. Upon approval of this resolution, the DOT will create and execute the cooperative agreement. Staff recommends approval, and I stand for any questions.
Commissioners, does anybody have any questions for Mr. Palomano since he decided to get into the game?
Location of this 20.8 miles?
So for the cap, this one is the cap. It's pretty much our more of our collector roads, arterial roads. So Chickasaw Road from US 285 to Cherokee, Chinook Road from Lake Arthur limits to Pearson Road, Jackson Road from US 285 to State Road 2, Lincoln Road from the Dexter limits to Choctaw, and then Ottawa Road from US 285 to Lincoln.
And my understanding is this agreement is in effect until the end of next year, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
Get executed this year, and then we've got next year to work on it, so we're always kind of a year behind. It's just the way the agreements work. And I've got two more for you coming up in the next items, and we can portion out how those roads or how that fund is applied to a particular type of county road.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, I know Commissioner Korn is new to this. What we do is we do an assessment of those roads every 6 to 8 years. I mean, they're constantly assessing those roads. If they need repair prior to that, they do it. But we have to wait 6 to 8 years before we can go back to the local government road fund to get monies for these roads. That's why a road that may need to be repaired isn't on this list, because it hasn't yet met the requirements. Because some roads, as we know, 2 years of heavy use, it needs work. Other roads might make 10 years of heavy use before it needs work. So these are just kind of on a rotation. So you'll see roads that may need it more than something we're asking for funding for this year. But if they get bad enough, Joe and his team will certainly address those roads as the time comes.
Yes, we assess, and then we give those roads, or the categories of those roads, to the New Mexico Department of Transportation, and they kind of give, the blessing on that as well.
So they have to meet certain criteria, that's why.
For instance, these roads, the last time they were touched was 2019.
So they're probably in bad shape.
They're in the rotation, yes, sir.
Is there a way to get a rotation a little quicker on some of this or not?
Well, if they see one that needs it, that's where Alex and Joe work, and this TPF funding that they've been able to access, that's what's really
been beneficial on those roads that need a major repair that are not in the rotation at this time.
And that's for this particular source of funding. We do have other road funding that we use in-house on our county funds, and some like in TPF, which is a different funding source. So essentially 3 pockets of funds and how we sparse out road improvements.
And Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Korn, this is a 75-25% match. So, you know, we do have to pay a significant portion of repairing these roads. The TPF funding is 95 and 5. So when they have a major project, they really go above and beyond, and Adriana certainly helps them with all those processes, making sure that we can find those other funds at a more economical way to do it for the county. So just shout out to them. Appreciate it.
Let me take this opportunity also to thank our Roads Operations Director, Joe West, and then if he has anything he wants to elaborate at this time. Thank you, Joe.
Commissioners, any other questions?
My road's bad, Joe.
File your complaints. Where's the complaint department?
But I'm not complaining. I can still pass, so good.
At this time, we'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve Resolution R25036, an Agreement A25-030, accepting the 2025-2026 New Mexico DOT Local Government Road Fund or County Arterial Program.
Second, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion by Commissioner Wade and a second by Commissioner Dana on agenda item 14. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you. Okay, agenda item number 15 brings forth resolution R-25-037, as well as agreement A-25-031. And this would be for accepting the 25-26 NMDOT LGRF Cooperative Program. This local government fund offer from the DOT is for single penetration chip seal, approximately 12.7 miles of county roads. Now, these in a cooperative are for that classification, which is a little less volume of traffic in the rural setting. And the cost shares are as follows. $147,000, this is the DOT's portion, is $147,937. Chaves County's portion is $49,312 for a grand total project cost of $197,249. Upon approval of this resolution, the DOT will create and execute the cooperative agreement. Staff once again recommends approval.
Commissioners, do you have any questions? I have one question. Are these under the same rotation as far as numerics of years?
These
Even
happen
though
to
they're
be,
lessly
yes.
used roads?
Yeah, this batch is, and it's, I won't go into all of them, but I'll be happy to share the list with you all so you kind of know where we'll be working this year. Horizon Road, McPherson Road, Mono Road, Ottawa Road, Oxford, Bancock, Berindo East, Xena, Wrangler. Kind of gives you an idea of the type of roads that those classifications fall under.
Thank you. Are there any more questions?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, if you would, Alex, can you email us the roads? Because I know
Absolutely.
I get calls.
Absolutely.
When is my road on the rotation and stuff? So would you email us the roads so we can kind of have a heads up? And
Yes, ma'am, Commissioner.
when we do get those calls?
Today, after this meeting, I'll email it to everyone.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, I'd also like to point out, though, the roads that they're working on this year are the ones you approved last year at this time.
Right,
So maybe you should send them this year's roads and then next
would be
year's roads.
nice.
That
Will
way
do.
you'll be able to give some
Thank you.
hope.
Maybe put them on the website.
Will do. And we intend to do a little bit better PSA public awareness on everything we're working on. If I may take this opportunity, I'll give you an example. We put up some traffic control plans, temporary traffic control plans for Pine Lodge at the dip section east of La Jolla on the Berindo Creek, as well as the Berindo Creek on East Berindo. Currently, they are closed to traffic and that's a full closure, expecting a contractor to get out there and get some repairs done as a result of the floods. So that's an example of what we've put out on social media. We broadcast to the Sheriff's Department and as well as the city PIO, so to help the public out. But we will do a better job of informing the public where we'll be working and the time frame. And so we ask the public to look out social media and heads up on those signs, you know. Traffic control signs are there for everybody's safety as well as the work crew. Thank you.
Exactly, and
I-
I know I've seen the complaints about what you're doing on Pine Lodge. You know, people don't realize the work's got to be done, and it's dangerous.
It's dangerous.
in
Unfortunately, they're moving
those
road closure signs. So.
Yeah, in some of those, so, yes, thank you.
So the idea on Berendo to go ahead and try to get it passive is off the table again?
Off the table, we're actually going to go into, we've got to relieve some of the standing water.
Correct.
And so that's going to keep the full closure for a little while, and we're going to get a contractor out there and try to repair as soon as possible.
Okay. Well, we were hoping to
Yeah.
open it, to just
Now, I
throw
will
a
add,
surface in there and open it
Sorry.
more temporarily.
I will add that if we have to wait on materials or the contractor more than a month, then we'll open it temporarily with some temporary material.
Are there any further questions?
Pay attention to the signs so you don't get a ticket.
Absolutely.
Yes. Or worse. Some of those areas are pretty bad.
At this time, we'll entertain a motion on agenda item 15.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve Resolution R25037 and Agreement A25031, accepting the 2025-2026 New Mexico DOT Local Government Road Fund Cooperative Program Agreement.
Second.
We have a motion made by Commissioner Wade and a second by Commissioner Corn on agenda item 15. All those in favor signifying by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. The motion carries on agenda item 15.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Commissioners. Lastly, for the LGRF funds is item number 16. It is for Resolution R-25-038, as well as Agreement A-25-032, accepting the 25-26 NMDOT LGRF School Bus Program Fund. This local government fund offer from the New Mexico Department of Transportation is for single chip seal, penetration chip seal, approximately 11.37 miles of county roads. And these are predominantly school bus routes, and again, lower traffic volume roads and a certain classification that we had to apply for these. The breakdown in cost shares is as follows. NMDOT's cost is $183,516. Chaves County's is $61,172 for a grand total of $244,688. Upon approval of this resolution, the DOT will create the cooperative agreement. Staff recommends approval.
Commissioners, are there any questions?
So this is not, I mean, they're for school buses. We're not just fixing potholes, right?
No, sir. That's
And
a
the
separate,
location of some of these, I mean.
that's a separate task we do, yes, sir.
Huh?
That's a separate task we do.
Okay. Well, I don't want the kids bucked out of their seat because they're not wearing their seat belts, because there is no seat belts in the bus, so.
Correct. And unfortunately, some of these routes, because they're either on a lower volume classification, or the school bus routes also tend to change with the, where students live and request to get picked up. These are sometimes older in that rotation, so a few of them may go back as far as 2013, unfortunately.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, I'd also like to point out that this is classified as school bus routes. However, the only ones that have been, since I've been at the county, that have ever had a designated school bus route is the Hagerman Independent School District. All the others do not have an officially designated school bus route. So they change every year. If Johnny graduates, then, the bus stops no longer stops at Johnny's house, they go over to Janie's house because she's now in high school, or whatever the case is. You know, it's kind of how it's been working. But these are not officially designated school bus routes. These are strictly categorized as school bus roads because of the volume and use of the roads.
And what you'll notice when you all receive these LGRF road designations or classifications in their groups for each one of these funds is, for this one, for instance, it's a shorter run, whereas the CAP, the very first one we mentioned, those are 1 mile to 3 mile in lengths of what we're trying to accomplish with that fund. So just kind of notice that as well. We get to do a lot more roads in this batch for school bus. However, those runs are a little bit shorter.
Commissioners, are there any more questions? If there's no more questions, we'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve Resolution R25038 and Agreement A25032, accepting 2025-2026 New Mexico DOT Local Government Road Fund School Bus Program Fund.
I second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Wade and a second by Commissioner Corn on agenda item 16. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. The motion carries.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, this is Bill Williams requesting this time.
The real Bill Williams?
Resolution R25039 and Agreement A25033 between Chaves County and Southeastern New Mexico Economic Development District, Council of Governments for annual membership. This resolution and agreement will authorize Chaves County's membership in the Southeastern New Mexico Economic Development District, Council of Governments. Chaves County has budgeted funds for this membership, and Southeastern New Mexico Economic Development District and COG provides planning, technical assistance, and capacity building services to local government in southeastern New Mexico. Staff request approval for Resolution R25039 and Agreement A25033. Thank you.
Commissioners, are there any questions or comments for Mr. Williams? I assume this is the same Mr. Williams that was all city in Hagerman on the basketball team, right?
I was sitting on the pine on the basketball team in Hagerman.
But he was all in the city. So. Are there any questions or comments?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I sit on the board. Thank you very much for allowing me to sit on the board. This is very much needed. They are very important to us in Santa Fe. They lobby for our ICIPs throughout the district, and I appreciate y'all bringing this up, and I would ask that you approve for the annual membership.
If there are no further questions or comments, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I ask that we approve Resolution R-25-039 and Agreement A-25-033 between Chaves County and the Southeastern New Mexico Economic Development District Council of Governments for annual membership.
I'll second. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I second.
Sorry.
I have a motion made by Commissioner Dana and a second, a fight for the second between Commissioner Corn and Commissioner Wade, but I think Commissioner Corn stands. All those in favor of approving agenda item 17 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign.
Thank you.
The motion carries.
Really?
Chairman, Commissioners, agenda item number 18 is appointments to the Roswell Chaves County Extraterritorial Zoning Commission. Staff is requesting the appointment of Christopher Reed Marley, Rita Kane Dorhofer, and Michael C. Lackey to serve on the Roswell Chaves County Extraterritorial Zoning Commission for a term of 1 year. Per NMSA 3-21-3 and the Roswell Chaves County Extraterritorial Zoning Ordinance 80-1, the Chaves County Board of Commissioners shall appoint 3 county residents that live in the ETZ area to the ETZ Commission to serve a term of 1 year. The ETZ Commission currently has a county-appointed position vacancy due to the passing of Pancho Maples. Staff recommends Mr. Christopher Reed Marley to the ETZ Commission. Mr. Marley is a local landman, rancher, and business owner. Staff has confirmed Mr. Marley's residency is within the ETZ area. Staff recommends approval.
Commissioners, do you have any questions or comments for Mr. Aramijo?
Thank you very much, Louis. I've known Christopher Reed Marley since he was a little tyke, and I think this is wonderful. I know he's been trying to get involved with things. I think he'll be a great asset.
I agree. If he gets out of line, well, I'll get him in line.
There you go.
Or I'll have Martin get him in
There
line,
you
my
go.
son get him in line, so,
There you
anyway,
go.
yep. He's a good boy.
Yes.
I shouldn't say boy,
Oh, I
man.
know.
Young man.
I know.
At this time, we're entertain a motion on agenda item 18.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the appointments to the Roswell-Chaves County Extraterritorial Zoning Commission of Christopher Reed Marley, reappointing Rita Kane Dorhofer and Michael C. Lackey.
I second that.
Have a motion made by Commissioner Dana and a second by Commissioner Korn. All those in favor of agenda item 18 passing signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Ready? Morning, Chairman, Commissioners. Agenda item number 19 is the request to ratify approval of the purchase of a 644 G-tier wheel loader replacement for flood control. The Flood Control Department lost a 644 G-tier wheel loader in the October 2024 DR 4843 flood disaster. A wheel loader typically takes about 6 months for delivery, but in this case, Four Rivers was aware of our need and our situation, and they were able to secure the purchase for the wheel loader at a cost of $271,947.28. The purchase was approved per Sourcewell Agreement number 011723-JDC. Insurance funds received were $140,000, and the remaining balance was approved per the fiscal year 26 budget. And staff recommends approval of the ratification of the purchase.
Commissioners, are there any questions for Mrs. Nieto? Ms. Nieto, this lively bunch has nothing, so we'll all entertain a motion.
That's fine.
We're all sitting here wishing we had it.
Well, I'm just looking at the price here, so.
Don't ask
So
me
we
anything
owe-
about the
we owe
specifications, please, because
271.
that's not me.
Do we owe will the remaining balance be 271,000?
No, the difference of 140,000. So 140,000 we got from insurance, and then the difference
That's
of that
all
from
we'll owe is
275.
140,000.
Yes, is what.
That's it.
Not
Yeah.
the
County budgeted.
271.
Correct.
And Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, of course, we're putting this through on FEMA, but we've not seen any money on that yet. But
Right.
hypothetically, they will make us whole on this.
They better get on the stick.
I am not holding my breath,
Yeah.
but Annabelle and her team are working very diligently to assure that this happens. Annabelle, Alex, Flood Control, a lot of us are working with FEMA to do what we can for our community.
Commissioners, are there any further questions?
Go for it. No. Go for it.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I move we we ratify the approval of the purchase of a 644 G-tier wheel loader replacement for flood control. And I believe the amount remaining would be $131,947.28, correct? After the,
I believe that's correct.
after the 140?
Correct.
So 130 what?
Out of county funds, correct.
131,947.28. It's just the 297.
Oh, yeah, okay.
271 minus the 140. If it was around 140?
140
even-
exactly,
Exactly,
yes.
okay.
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
I have a motion made by mathematician Commissioner Wade and a second by Commissioner Dana on agenda item 19. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Agenda item 19, motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Chairman and Commissioners. Agenda item 20 is a request for out-of-state travel. I respectfully request approval for myself and Shane Villanueva to attend the CrowdStrike Annual Cybersecurity Conference scheduled the 15th to the 18th of September in Las Vegas, Nevada. This nationally recognized event provides valuable training on cybersecurity practices, operational readiness, technology innovations, and things relevant to government IT operations. The conference registration is complimentary for 2 personnel. Expenses would be hotel and accommodations, transportation. Given the cost and the value offered, I believe this represents a strong training opportunity. It would allow us to divide our coverage, maximize our learning, and pass this on to the rest of the department. It includes sessions on infrastructure, threat detection, operations, best practices, and it's broadly applicable to the public sector and will allow us to continue development of our internal capabilities. Staff recommends approval. Stand for any questions.
Are there any questions from commissioners?
May I ask, is it okay if we approve this for him?
Trying to get away from
Chanel?
her.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want you to think we're keeping track as commissioners, but I did notice that I'll say I got sent with Commissioner Wade to South Dakota, and I've noticed that the sheriff deputies and you guys have gone to Vegas. Not that I'm keeping track, but
Unfortunately, that's where
I think something's a little
IT
askew here.
conferences are, I guess.
Suddenly I feel like the hierarchy's not very hierarchy.
They've got cooler conferences, man. You gotta get with it.
Are there any other comments or questions from commissioners?
That was a good comment.
It was. Commissioner Corn speaks. At this time, I'd like to entertain a motion on agenda item 20.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve requests for out-of-state travel for Andrew Ray and Shane Villanueva. Did I say that right?
Is that right?
Oh, cool.
That's good.
I second that.
Thank you.
I have a motion by Commissioner Dana and a second by Commissioner Corn on agenda item 20. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Agenda number 21 is the ratification of out-of-state travel to Bryan, Texas for the Emergency Vehicle Operations Instructor course. The Chaves County Sheriff's Office is requesting ratification of authorization to send Lieutenant Charles Drake to Emergency Vehicle Operation Instructor course on July 20th, 2025 through July 25th, 2025. The training is presented by Texas A&M Engineering Extension Service. It consists of 50 hours of training in instructing basic emergency vehicle operations. This course will help provide a certified instructor for the CCSO to train all deputies in the basic operations of emergency vehicle driving. As of now, New Mexico DPS training for emergency vehicle operations is only mandated through the academy and does not offer advanced training after graduation. The cost of this training is $850 plus hotel and per diem. Staff recommends approval.
Commissioners, are there any questions or comments?
I just have to say it. I know everybody's thinking it Does it include training not to go through high water when it's raining?
If there's no further questions, we'll entertain a motion.
Has he been checking in? Have you been checking in with him?
Yes, actually, just yesterday.
And is it going fine? Good?
He's doing good, doing good.
Perfect.
Mr. Chairman, I move ratification of out-of-state travel to Bryan, Texas, Emergency Vehicle Operations Instructor Course, and this is for Lieutenant Charles Drake.
Yes.
I second that.
Thank you for the motion, Commissioner Dana, and I have a second by Commissioner Corn for agenda item 21. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Good morning. Agenda item 22 is a request for out-of-state travel for Henry Hernandez. We're requesting approval for one more staff member to travel out-of-state for the 33rd Annual National Gang Violence Conference held August 18th to the 22nd in Anaheim, California. This conference was approved through our budget for 3 staff members. However, we were able to fill the vacant position in our classification department, and we believe this will not only educate and train our classification department on current events, but will also give them the necessary skills and knowledge of any up-and-coming games to be on the lookout for in an effort to keep any potential problems from our jail. Staff recommends approval for this. We have secured the funds.
Commissioners, are there any questions for Mr. Briscoe?
So y'all get to go to Disneyland for games?
Yeah, I was ready to say.
Well, we're not
Gang
going
violence,
to
huh?
North Dakota or something.
It's probably the best place for this conference.
Maybe.
California. California's going.
I just hope we have plenty of staff here, being that everybody's going.
Actually, that was already covered prior to even this being approved. I had to get a contingency plan as to how we're going to cover the classification division, and we got that secured as well.
At this time, we'll entertain a motion on, excuse me, on agenda item 22.
Mr. Chairman, I move we accept requests for out-of-state travel for the out-of-state conference, National Gang Violence Conference held August 18th through the 22nd in Anaheim, California.
I second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Dana and a second by Commissioner Corn on agenda item 22. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
And due to your comment earlier, Commissioner, I will be on the gold while you're on the blue.
You want a what?
Due to your comment earlier, I'll be on the gold while you're on the blue.
Okay.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, County Commissioners. As to agenda item 23, the appointment of new and current DWI Planning Council voting members. According to the Chavez County DWI Program Charter, the DWI Planning Council voting members must be appointed by the Board of Commissioners in June of every odd year. The attached membership forms list the current voting members and 2 recommendations for new voting members. The Chavez County DWI Planning Council would like to submit 2 new voting members nominees for approval. First will be Sergeant Stephen Farmer from the New Mexico State Police, and the second will be Mike Morales, LNF Distributors, as the sales manager. With this approval, the Chavez County DWI Planning Council will remain at 10 approved voting members. Staff recommends approval.
Commissioners, are there any questions for Ms. Holly? If there are no questions, we'll entertain a motion at this time.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the appointment of the new as listed and current DWI Planning Council voting members for another year.
I second that.
I have a motion by Commissioner Wade and a second by Commissioner Corn to approve agenda item 23. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Agenda item 23, motion carries.
Thank you.
The approval of checks.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve the checks in the amount of $4,014,543.15.
Second, Mr. Chairman.
A motion by Commissioner Wade and a second by Commissioner Dana for the approval of the checks. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries for the approval of checks. Now we have the approval of reports.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve reports.
I second that.
We have a motion for the approval of reports by Commissioner Dana and a second by Commissioner Corn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Approval of reports carries. This time we'll have unscheduled communications that are limited to 3 minutes per visitor. And I know we've had some people waiting here patiently the whole time. Yes, sir, go ahead. Can you state your name and address for us?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, my name is Jesse Chavez. I reside at 221 Rocoso Road in Roswell County. I'm here representing the West Country Club Neighborhood Watch Program group, which met on June the 29th in regard to the flooding on June 22nd. We ran through our agenda items concerning local property damages around the neighborhood, the valley, but we also came up with 3 items to bring to the commission. We're requesting that on the commission or the county roads, West Country Club and Adobe Mesa, that the ditches be restored to be able to receive water from the top of the road back into the arroyo. And also the control of the weeds in that area. On that day of the flooding, the 22nd, which I imagine has been discussed here, several vehicles had passed the Arroyo Berendo Creek and were actually being pushed back into the arroyo by the water that's coming down. According to several members of the group, their water gauges register more than 5 inches of rain in a little over an hour. So we have significant moisture water coming down. The other item that we are looking at or asking to be addressed is the current structure that's in the Berendo Creek. It was placed there by the county several years ago. I don't remember the date. But currently, due to all the flooding that's occurred, it's beginning to be eroded. Part of it is becoming a skeleton on top of the culverts. And it has really not been that effective over the years. I've been here 40 years in this county, and we have significant flooding events prior to this extreme flooding event. We request that the county assess the current state of that ditch. It is a road that the buses travel over every day during school, several times a day. So we consider it a dangerous situation for anybody passing it. I know on that date, several vehicles, emergency vehicles, had to be recovered. The city fire department, I understand several, or at least one county vehicle had to be recovered, and apparently one of the deputies was standing on top of his car to be able not to drown. So it's becoming pretty perilous, and as the events seem to be getting worse and more frequent, we feel that this situation in this arroyo is becoming basically more dangerous to people traveling over it. On that day, people were not trying to get across it. People were being basically pushed back down the road into the arroyo. There was a pickup truck with 3 children in it. The father was able to take one child out, but with the grace of God and members in the community went into the water to retrieve those kids, there was no fatalities. But that is, by the courage of people risking their own lives doing that. But I request from the county that the ditches, the vegetation in the arroyo also be addressed, and the structure in the arroyo be assessed, and possibly a different structure be constructed, that it does address the severe weather events that are happening to us. When they do clog up that road, there's not a way to pass from the west side of West Country Club to the other part. We're stuck there, and if there's a medical event, there's been in the past helicopters had to come in to get people out, to get them out. Expensive. But those are the requests that we have from the West Country Club Neighborhood Watch Program.
Well, thank you for you waiting on us and being patient. Those requests are reasonable. And if I can, I'd get you to visit with Mr. Palomano after, and we'll see what we can do to accommodate the need and the look.
And thank you for
Thank
your
you,
time.
sir. Are there any other public comments or questions? And thank you for patiently waiting and smiling on your way. It means a lot when you smile on your way to the podium.
Okay, well, my name is Deborah Hancock, and I live at 3204 West Bland. And my question is basically to the Roads Department, too, in regards to the McGaffey Road between West McGaffey, between Sycamore and the bypass. Now, there's a lot of truck traffic on that road. It's very narrow, and there's a lot of emergency vehicles that use that for access to the bypass. When it rains, the water doesn't go anywhere. It just turns into a big lake. Is there any way to address the drainage along there? I'm pretty sure between Sycamore and the bypass, it's county road. And that's pretty much, I can see the people drive through there and
Right.
their cars are floating, and then a big truck will come by and swoosh them into the ditch.
Right. Right. Thank you for your comments, and thank you for your concerns and bringing them out at this forum. And because you did, we're going to visit with you a little further about it, correctly?
That is a concern of the counties as well. We're working with flood control and some studies being done by the Department of Homeland Security and Emergency Management at the current moment. So we hope that by the end of the year, we can have some kind of answer
I'd appreciate
on
that.
what we need
It's
to
like,
do.
where does the water supposed to go? Because
Yes, ma'am.
it's a bowl.
Obviously, we've all learned since October that the west side of town is got drainage problems, and the intensity of storms is changing, getting more frequent. So we are working with several agencies to see what can be done.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Are there any other questions or public comments? All of a sudden, the cats have gotten tongues. Okay. County Manager's Communications, the real bill.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, first thing I'd like to do is say that we miss Dick as our leader. However,
Greatly.
I think that the real Michael Perry did a great job, especially including some humor in sometimes kind of
Hard shoes to fill, buddy, hard shoes.
uninteresting comments, but you've helped us to get through this time. Want to remind everybody about the Economic Development Corporation's banquet, their gala next week. That'll be on Wednesday. It'll be at the Encanto, where Furs Cafeteria used to be. I can't remember, Encanto venue or something they call it. But anyway, they're going to be from 11:30 to 1, and they will be announcing the best enchiladas in town and all those kind of things. That's going to be really good. Next week, I've been asked to present to the Courts, Corrections, and Justice Committee by Representative Chandler from Los Alamos, present our concerns and what we've done to correct our Corrections Department and what we've done to divert people from jail and all those sorts of things. I've asked Warden Briscoe to go and attend that with me. So I think that between me stirring things up and him having all the answers to the questions that we're going to impress the state Courts, Corrections, and Justice Committee. And thank you to your entire team at CCDC. We appreciate what they do and the things that they go through. Commissioner Dana this morning had a prayer for law enforcement, and that's one of the things we've kind of tried to reestablish again, as people have kind of forgotten in a lot of cases that corrections officers are certainly law enforcement officers, and we thank you for stepping up to do those jobs. Brasher Bridge, you know, I mentioned earlier that it's great to see the community come out to these meetings and stick it out and say what needs to be said. The Brasher Bridge, I love to tell this story. This is how government works. I mean, this is a pretty good full circle story. So about 6 years ago, we had a planning and zoning meeting, and someone wanted to put in a concrete business out on Brasher Road. And so we did the hearing. It was recommended approval by the P&Z committee and came forward to the commission. And the community came out just like they did today. And there were a lot of concerns about this concrete plant there. Many of those concerns were alleviated after the meeting because the person that wanted to put that in went door to door knocking, making sure that people understood the actual needs out there. But during that meeting, it came up that the Brasher Road Bridge was an unsafe bridge. I don't drive down Brasher Road every day. I've been down that road many times and been over the bridge, but as soon as you pass something on the highway, your mind goes somewhere else. You don't think about it. But the people that live there every day realized that that particular bridge had no shoulders or anything, so the road narrowed as you went on that bridge. The bridge was also built at a real high elevation. So what people generally do is they're driving down the road and they get to a narrow spot in the road, they move over to the center of the road and drive down the center. But with that bridge being so high, what they didn't realize was all the garbage trucks coming on the other side of that road. So as you're traveling up this hill, all of a sudden you see a garbage truck who's also moved to the middle of the road. And it created a lot of issues. We had no idea about that. After the people brought that up, I went out and looked at it and said, oh man, sure enough, I've been over this a million times and I just never met a garbage truck. So their concern was, what do we do when we have cement trucks out there? Now we're going to have many more trucks and the danger is there. And so we thanked them for bringing that to our attention. We aggressively pursued funding through our we put on our infrastructure capital improvement plan and worked towards getting funding. We worked very diligently. The legislators saw the need, saw that it was a safety issue within our community, and they funded us 100% for that bridge. So we were so excited. The other part of the government is these things all have to be approved. So that particular legislative capital outlay was line item vetoed by the governor at that time, and so we did not receive the money for the bridge. So we were kind of up and down, and of course all this takes time. And like I said, it's been about 6 years since we started this project. So we continued to aggressively pursue funding. We took it back to the legislators. The following year, again, we were successful in obtaining funding. It was approved the second year. Then we had to go into the RFP process, the design process, to make sure that we had a good bridge, which took about 2 years. And then we went out for bids. COVID hit during this time. There were a lot of different things that happened throughout this particular project, including the floods in November. We were ready to start the project, I believe, on Monday following the floods, and then the floods came. So certainly that held us off for quite some time. But we stuck to it. The people got what they needed, and we appreciate that that eventually government comes through. And it's because we heard from the people and what their needs were and then addressed those administratively here in the county. A lot of people helped with that. Stan was our county manager at the time. He pushed for it. I was in Alex's position. I pushed for it. The road department pushed for it. The finance department made sure we had funding to cover it, made sure that we put it into our ICIP properly. And so a lot of work went into that, and I'm really glad to say that we finally got it done. The other thing about government is when that started out, the opinion of probable cost was $485,000. And I believe that the final cost 6 years later, with a variety of things, I believe the final cost was about 1.2. And Alex is saying I'm close enough. So, but anyway, again, government projects tend to take some time. Often that causes them to cost more. But I'm thankful whenever we do our jobs. So
So the moral of the story is government inefficiency costs us another 800 grand. Is that what you're saying?
Well, we could say it that way, but I was trying not to say it that way. We just came back from Philadelphia at the National Association of Counties, and I reported a couple of months ago that when we went to the legislative conference in Washington, D.C. in March, that we put forth a resolution, our local county governments, there's 8 counties in New Mexico that are directly affected by this government plan to build a national interest electric transmission corridor. This corridor stretches through 8 of our counties, and it's anywhere between 5 and 15 miles in width and 640 miles long in New Mexico. So it was 1,841,000 acres in New Mexico that would be impacted, and an additional 363,000 acres in the state of Colorado that would be impacted if the federal government went through with this plan. First and foremost, no one's opposed to providing electric power where it needs to go. But what we were opposed to was a 5-mile wide corridor that an agent from an agency could condemn those lands without the approval of Congress. They could commit the funds that are only set aside by Congress to purchase large quantities of land. So they would be the ones that made the individual deals with the energy developers or whoever. Yeah, Dave took me out for a steak dinner last night. I'm not saying that's what they would do, but I'm saying that could be what they would do. And so, he put a plan forward on the table, and now we're going to approve his plan. And this was through the Department of Energy, and the FERC, the Federal Energy Regulation Commission, would have the authority. In fact, they changed their rule to say that they didn't have to get approval from local governments. And that's one of the things Chaves County has worked for diligently on many, many levels, is to assure that the federal government looks at the culture and policies of each of our counties and what we would like to do on land use. We've been engaged in many battles over the years, but this particular one cut the local governments out completely. It's whatever we say goes. We don't care if your ranch has been in your family for 5 generations. You have no say in this. We can come in and do what we want. And so the 8 counties plus additional counties in New Mexico, I think we had 5 additional counties that were not directly impacted by it in New Mexico, joined us. We also had some co-sponsors. This was the National Association of Counties. We had co-sponsors, about 50 of them total. They came from Oregon, California, Washington, a lot of the western states. I'm not sure if we had any co-sponsors from back east, but we definitely had a bunch of them from out west. And so in March, we took it to 3 separate committees at National Association of Counties, and it was approved. It was accepted by the first committee that voted on it. It became their resolution, and it was cross-claimed by 2 additional committees. Commissioner Perry presented it to the Public Lands Committee, where it was approved. I presented it to the EELU, which is Energy, Environment, and Land Use. Commissioner Wade and I presented it to the Ag and Rural Affairs Committee, and we got that approved in all 3 committees, which kind of a huge thing. And that made it an interim resolution that they would cover until the annual meeting. At the annual meeting, we presented it again, and then it went out, once it was approved again by the subcommittee, the main subcommittee that approved it the first time, the EELU. Then it went out to the full assembly. So we had representatives from every state. I believe do you remember how many counties, Cliff? Is it 3,048 counties in the U.S. that are part of NACO?
It's over 3,000.
Yeah. So we had representatives from all of those different places, and we were successful in getting a resolution passed to oppose the National Interest Electric Transmission Corridor that takes up 8 counties, or portions of 8 counties in New Mexico and 5 counties in Colorado. There's another one. It started out, they had 10 of these areas. They reduced it down to 3, so the one in New Mexico is the largest. There's another one, the Tribal Connection Corridor up in North and South Dakota, a piece of Missouri. And then there's a very short one that's, I don't know, somewhere near Niagara Falls. I guess they're going to do hydroelectric power or something there. But we were able to get a resolution passed that says we oppose this. The National Association of Counties will now lobby on our behalf for the next year, and hopefully the administration will take a look at this and roll it back. If they don't, then we'll present it again next year. But this states our opposition to this until such time as the federal government coordinates with local governments, make sure that they do all that they can do to assure that this fits the culture and the needs of our local governments. And so real proud of that. Want to thank Commissioners Wade and Commissioner Perry for their help on that. We had many counties that joined together and did this. We just happened to be kind of the ones that stepped forward and talked about it on the national level. But Curry County, their clerk, and Roosevelt County Commissioner, I sent them some information. They actually wrote the resolution. As we presented on the floor, there were some friendly amendments and those kind of things, so we took care of that. But we had 5 town hall meetings throughout southeastern New Mexico, including in Lincoln County, who's not directly affected, but they certainly support us. But we had Otero County, we had Eddy, Lee, Chavis, Union, Quay, and Roosevelt County were all a portion of this. And again, like I say, the 5 counties in Colorado, which I'm sorry I don't remember the names of those counties, but we all fought for this very hard, and we appreciate that everyone joined us and that we were able to stave this off until such time as they will coordinate with us in a proper manner. That was a lot to say, but thank you for all that you do for us, commissioners, and people need to know that you fight these much larger battles regularly, and there's a whole list of things that you guys work towards solving. And thank you, and that's all I have to say.
Commissioner Dana?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to thank y'all too. Each of us is on different committees and stuff, but when they go to Washington, D.C. with the National Association of Counties, it is counties coming together throughout the nation and taking issues such as this and making our delegate or our congressmen and our senators aware of some of these issues. They have a lot to do in Washington, D.C., as well as Santa Fe. So it's up to us and it's up to y'all to make sure that they know of these issues. And that's why we kind of pass some of these resolutions, and that's why it's so important for us to have a voice in Washington, D.C. I sit on New Mexico counties, and we deal a lot with New Mexico issues and legislation. So each one of us not only represents y'all here in Chaves County, but we represent y'all in Santa Fe and in Washington, D.C. It's a job that we take seriously, but it's also a voice. We are a voice for y'all, and it's very important. Having this resolution passed in Washington, D.C. is very, very important because it makes D.C. aware of what's going on here. We hear it all the time. Where is New Mexico? Well, we have some great voices here in New Mexico, and when they go to Washington and when we go to Santa Fe, they listen to us, and we are Southern New Mexico. So y'all can be very proud that we are standing up for all of you here, but also on the national scene and on the state scene. And two, thank you to our staff. Our staff, it's nice because our staff is here also to help y'all. When we have a constituent that calls, we can call road department or Alex or finance or our county clerk and ask them, I have a constituent, can you talk to them and let's resolve this issue? And it's nice to have that staff, and it's nice, we really appreciate everything that our staff does in keeping us informed, keeping us safe, keeping our roads. Thank you, Joe. Trash, thank you, Joe and Alex, because that is another issue that I get calls on too, is our trash compactors. Thank you, Michael and CCDC. Haven't received a call in a while, so I thank you very much. I think things are going really well out there, as we saw in our tour in January of the detention center. So we have great staff, knowledgeable staff. I am amazed at the knowledge of all of our staff. We can't do this by ourselves. We have to have the staff because, we don't know we have to be sometimes jack of all trades, master of none, is me. So I thank our staff and everyone. Thank you to the finance, Annabelle, and for our budget. Our budget committee, Commissioner Wade and Commissioner Taylor and Annabelle and her staff, they take your taxes very, very seriously. If we spend your money, they're making sure, why are we spending this money? And they ask questions, and then when it comes before us, we ask questions. So I just want to appreciate everybody within Chaves County. When we go to DC and when we go to Santa Fe, we get kudos from every other county as to how and how great our county is and how wonderful we set the standard. And we get it all the time when we go to these conferences. Chaves County sets the standard for all the other counties here and throughout the nation because we work very well together and we work on issues and we bring the issues to our constituents and to others throughout the nation. So we really appreciate everything that everybody does. We might be the elected official, but there's a lot of people standing with us and helping us out. And we appreciate everything that everybody does. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I would like to, of course, echo those sentiments. And just as an example on responsiveness, I received after the flooding on West McGaffey, I received an email from a lady on a Friday. I didn't see it till Friday evening and forwarded it Saturday morning to Mr. West and Mr. Palomino. They met there Monday morning and went over it and addressed it and followed up on that immediately. And while it was a problem, and we're able to see that. We can't fix it right now, but the issues are being addressed, and I appreciate that responsiveness too. Because, thank you, Joe and Alex both. Alex and I did take a drive out, and we looked at the West Country Club Bridge and the erosion there, and know that there is a need for something to be done. And I'm sure they will be also addressing that in the near future with ideas. I thank Bill for taking the lead on the resolution for New Mexico, basically. It's standing for private property rights and government overreach. And it wasn't about necessarily not supporting utilities. It was just the way they were going about it. And we had an objection to that and not involving the public or the governmental agencies as well. And so I think it stands up at the national level now that it has been noticed and is disagreed with by a lot of folks out there. Commissioner Dana, as she mentioned, serves on our state association of counties. And we've seen a lot of variation in ideals there between conservatism, which we all are, and those that aren't. And I appreciate her standing up for what she believes in. And I just want to thank you for that. And then I was fortunate enough to go to Philadelphia. Actually, we came in last week. I was able to stay an extra day and see the history of our country, or where our country was born. And it was humbling. I mean, I don't think those folks envisioned a 1.6 million populated town when they had their little rooms and were meeting there and drawing this up, but I appreciate their wisdom in founding this country. And in light of what happened in Dona Ana County, I'm just thankful that we are still one nation under God. And we disagree with, and we need to think the good Lord above for his divine guidance, and we ask for it every meeting. And I want to thank my fellow commissioners for that, too. All the staff in this county they're conservative with your money. It's not a spend it or lose it in the budget. It's what can we do to save, to provide more for the future needs. And that I am very grateful for. And it's been wonderful working with Annabelle and Lucia and Commissioner Taylor as well, and Bill, and Alex, in going through the budgetary process this year. And it's a lot of numbers and a lot of money moving around, but it is well looked after. And thank you for that. Crossroads, that was kind of neat to see it's great to have the Crossroads store there. When I was headed to this meeting this morning, there were 3 sheriff's vehicles there. So that is a good presence, really. I mean, everybody's got to stop and have maybe they had a breakfast burrito, I don't know. And they were able to get together that way. But that was in the community where they could be approached by people in need on a well-traveled road rather than just in a good place to have it, I thought. I thought that was nice. And, of course, I just want to thank all of you and all of y'all. Appreciate it. And I'll pass it to Commissioner Corn.
I don't believe I'm going to be as long-winded as the rest of you.
I don't believe that.
I think I'm just going to echo everything. Thanks for you guys going to Philadelphia, Washington, doing all of the stuff y'all do. I'm glad y'all are doing that because I can't speak in front of a bunch of people, so staff, everything y'all do. Joe, I'm glad you're got quick response on some of these roads and stuff, and some of the flooding out west of town. We all get flooding, and we talk about floods, and then we'll turn off dry, and we won't get anything for 2 years or whatever, and then we all forget about it. Driving in this morning, we complain, like I said, about the floods, but driving in from outside of town this morning, the sun was coming up good, and there was nothing but green grass and beautiful countryside, and we cuss the rain, but we enjoy looking at the green. So all of us have issues, being a farmer, I cuss it all the time. Here in the last little bit, getting black hay and ruining everything I got, on that sort. So, we are private individuals, and we take all of our hits when we get them. I think everybody did a good job. I'm not one of those speakers, so to you.
Pass it. Well, with that, thank you all for coming. I appreciate everything that the county employees have done. One thing I would like to say is to echo what Bill and Commissioner Dana said is, that electric interstate corridor was opposed on a national level by the National Counties Association that came from a local level, which is us. And at our local level, when we opposed it because of our constituent outreach, we went to our congressmen in Washington, and every one of them in New Mexico was for this. So our 2 senators and our 3 representatives were for this, and they are disagreed with by over 3,000 counties in the United States. So let that think in when you go to the voting booth, because the representation that we're trying to provide is your representation. And when we give it to our national people that are supposed to be representing us, they don't echo that. And they've been sadly overridden on that issue. So thank you for that. Also, I'd like to echo what he said. It's green out there. It's raining. Thank God. We've got a lot of rain. We've got a lot of grass. Got a couple of mosquitoes. That's something we got to live with. And if anybody wants to help Miss Dana pull weeds, she's collecting volunteers over here in the corner to help her pull weeds at her little place. So thank you all for showing up. Thank you for being here. Thanks, Bill, for doing your job, and Alex for keeping the troops riding down the pass, and all the people that are doing the checks and balances of our government are doing a very, very, very good job. And thanks to the newspaper gal over there for always presenting us in a very nice fashion and getting Hub's good side. Every time in those pictures you get his good side. I don't know how you do it, but thank you for that. I think we're going to go sign some paperwork and call it. I didn't get to use the gavel at all one time.
Grab it, grab it. There you
There you go.
Thank you.
You know how to use that.
Oh.